observe the following house rules. Everyone is expected to keep your audio mute and put your questions or issues that you want to raise in the comment section and kindly wait for the host to acknowledge your concerns. To formally start our program, may we request everyone to join us and put ourselves in the loving presence of our Lord. And please take time to render your utmost respect for the singing of the Philippine national anthem.
Heavenly Father, we are highly honored and blessed for giving us the opportunity to participate in this event. As we begin our program, may you grace us with eternal wisdom, humility, courage, and strength. May we anchor ourselves in gratitude and draw on your mercy. As vessels of your divine grace, we ask you, Lord, to bless all the speakers and participants of this event. We seek for your guidance as we aim to make this gathering fruitful and meaningful for everyone. May all our words and actions be for your greater glory and honor as we actively participate today. We surrender everything to you. Grant us your protection, provision, and your blessing. Amen.
Kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, ewas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pangaw, ay hinatang tula, tawid sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pamay di magtitingin. Lumalang araw ng buwan, bakit pagsinta, buhay langit sa pilit mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SPARTA Online Roadshow for STMicroelectronic Incorporated with our host, the Project SPARTA's marketing lead, Ms. Roxy Makasay.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the SPARTA Online Roadshow for STMicroelectronics, Inc. I'm Roxy Makasad, and I'm very excited about what is in store for all of us this afternoon. So on behalf of Project SPARTA, I would like to warmly welcome everyone who's joining us today via Zoom, and an equally warm welcome to those who are watching us through Facebook and YouTube live stream. So for today's roadshow, we aim to identify the significant role of data science and analytics in our lives. We would also like to introduce formally Project SPARTA to our future scholars from the STMI and demonstrate the application process in the course bank platform. It really is a jam-packed afternoon for all of us today, so I hope you could stay with us for the whole duration of the event. And now to officially start the program and to welcome us to today's event, may I please ask for your undivided attention for this message from the SPARTA project manager, Ms. Joanne Lizelle Q. Nuke.
Thank you very much, Roxy. Okay, to the Senior Manager of STMicroelectronics Incorporated Central Test Engineering and Development, Mr. Francis Baltimore, Course Bank Instructional Design Lead, Ms. Jacqueline Sangalang, SPARTA SME, Dr. Richelle Ann Huayong, and to the rest of our participants, good afternoon and welcome to SPARTA's online roadshow. Now on its third year of implementation, Project SPARTA is committed more than ever to equip more Filipinos with analytics skill sets to fill the demand in the sector. Apart from holding various events and initiatives for our scholars, SPARTA is also ramping up collaborations with public and private educational institutions, as well as other organizations to further contribute to our thriving analytics ecosystem. SPARTA is proud to form a partnership with STMicroelectronics Incorporated to help upskill and reskill its employees and staff to attain our joint goals of forwarding analytics and technology for a sustainable and data-driven country. We look forward to welcoming you all as Project Sparta scholars. We urge you to learn, have fun, and strive hard to finish your chosen pathway or even complete a few micro-specialization pathways during your journey with us. We assure you that the knowledge you will gain from these courses will be very valuable in providing support not only to your workmates but also to the work processes in your own company. So thank you everyone for present here today, and we look forward to seeing familiar faces in our Sparta events and throughout the year. So let us all continue to pave the road for a thriving data analytics ecosystem in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Ms. Joanne. So our first speaker for today will talk about the importance of data science and analytics, how they can be applied to our daily lives, and recognizing the importance of data science in the business of electronics and the national target of building up data scientists. Our first speaker is an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Sciences in UP Diliman. She teaches basic programming, algorithms, data structures, and discrete mathematics. She is also a member of the Service Science and Software Engineering Laboratory in the department, where she advises undergraduate and graduate students pursuing special projects and thesis. She finished her BS, MS, and PhD in computer science in UP Diliman. She has done research works on models of computation, information visualization, genome analysis, GPU computing, and the study of workflows. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparta subject matter expert computing in Python, Dr. Rochelle Ann B. Wyong. Hi, Dr. Wyong. We can't hear you pa.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Ayun.
Okay. Let me just share my screen po. This will stop other screen sharing. Okay. So, okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So, thank you, Ma'am Roxanne, for the introduction. Hi again, everyone. My name is Rochelle Ann Huayong. I am a subject matter expert for Project Sparta, and I work as a full-time faculty member in the Department of Computer Science in UP Diliman. And my task for this afternoon is to talk about the importance of data science and analytics. I think of this as an opportunity for me to share my appreciation of what we can do with data. So let's start with an understanding of what is data science and analytics. And here I am presenting a word cloud of the different terms associated with data science and analytics. And it can get mixed up, the terms. And also there are various definitions depending on who you ask. So for me, a simple definition for data science and analytics is the many process that is involved in making sense of data. So the goal is to use data for problem solving. And the data science part emphasizes the problems that are exploratory in nature, while the analytics part emphasizes problems that are explanatory in nature. So the goal of data science and analytics is to turn data to information. So data, when we say data, we are just simply talking about a collection of recorded values. The values may be quantitative, it may be qualitative, but uh, they're just a collection. So the idea is that they are meaningless. And our goal is to transform it to something that is processed, that is interpreted, and thus have meaning to a certain domain. And of course, the ultimate goal is to use the useful information we will get to make smart decisions. So far, I think the definitions are simple. Going back to why data science and analytics, I have several reasons. First is we engage in simple practices of turning data to useful insights every day. So even the practice of determining if we are going to watch a movie, what we probably will do is to ask our friends if they like the movie, what can they say about it. Um, we'll probably look at movie reviews and ratings. And essentially, that is collecting data and turning it to some useful insight. So what is that useful insight? Determining if the movie is worth watching or not. And the action is probably you are going to watch it if it's worth watching and not if it's not worth watching. Another example of turning data to useful insights is when we are determining who to hire in our company, which is a problem that can also be applied to determining who we are going to date, or who we are going to admit in an organization. So in the case of hiring, your data is a collection of resumes. In our lab, we also admit students that will be pursuing their special projects and theses. And of course, we look at their academic performance. So we have numerical data in the form of grades. But we also look them up in Google or in Facebook. We determine if they have some social media profile, because we also want some insight on their personalities. We want to look for if there are red flags, kung pasaway yung estudyante. So syempre ayaw natin siya na may admit. Or if there are bonus points, like is the applicant a student leader? Because that will mean probably the applicant is proactive. Or maybe the applicant is a writer, which is a bonus point because that means the applicant has capability to publish. So maybe you have some mechanism of how to perform performance evaluation. And maybe you also turn to social media to determine some hints about the personality of peoples of interest. So that is turning data to useful insights. Now, what we can observe here is we are really looking at raw data to find useful insights. And that can be a tedious process. So there are other simple practices where we don't really need to look at the raw data, because we have beautiful charts that we can look at, which makes the presentation of information more compact. So we see that in most of tracker apps in our phones. Maybe some of you are tracking their finances, tracking their cognitive abilities. So this is from Lumosity. In Lumosity, you play games. And the games is associated to some cognitive ability, and you will have this this chart to assess in what skills are you good at, And you have health tracker apps. You have probably smartphones and knee band. This devices can track your heart rate, your sleep hours, your number of walks, and it gets projected in the health tracker apps, and it gives you a good idea if you were able to meet your goal or not. So uh, in tracking finances, here we have a good pie chart, which gives us an idea that whoever this person is um, spending a lot of his or her budget on drinks. So the decision is maybe that will influence him or her considering cutting back on drink expenses. So this is simple forms of analytics. And from here, maybe we'll say that data science and analytics is really not new. And yes, it's really not new because it's embedded in our educational system. As early as high school, we are taught the power of statistics, and we are taught what are pie charts, bar graphs, line graphs, and all that. So these are simple forms of simple analytics, and maybe some of you are YouTubers. If yes, then maybe you have already seen analytics in YouTube Studio. So this is analytics at a higher level. And here we can see, for example, if our channel is doing well, and we have several metrics to determine if our channel is doing well. We have views, we have watch time, we have subscribers. We have more metrics and more charts to look at, but it also gives us a lot of insights. So is our channel doing well? What are the most successful videos so far? And who's our audience? So that is my first reason. We engage in simple practices of turning data to useful insights every day. And also, every day, we experience the many applications made possible because of data science and analytics. So here I have some examples. First is the idea of recommender systems. So here I have a screenshot of Netflix. Recommender systems, these are services where they offer you the next video to watch, or the next music to play, or the next people to friend, the next item to buy. And here we have Netflix movies arranged so that arranged based on the preference of the user, Joshua. So the how Netflix was able to determine the preference of Joshua is based on his history. And this actually has huge impact, not just in social media platforms, but even in e-commerce, because you get to recommend what will be items that can that a person or a user can purchase. So that's just one application. Another application is the spam folder in our emails. So I just learned that 60% of emails sent every second are actually spam. So if there is no filtering like this, the spam will flood our inbox, and it will be difficult to determine which are legit emails and which are just spam. So thanks to DSA, we have auto filtering of spams. Face detection in our smartphones, that's just common in our cameras, and that is also made possible because of huge amounts of data analyze to get face patterns. And there's a lot more. You have personal assistant, you have relevant results returned by search engines, you have automatic language translation. So that's all made possible because of DSA. So another reason, and I think a more pressing reason for why DSA is because we live in a time of so-called big data. So big data is characterized by three properties: volume, variety, and velocity. So volume, we are asking how big is big data. And so I have here some figures. How much data is generated every minute? So according to Finances Online, 41 million messages are shared by WhatsApp users. 1 million video and voice calls are made by people worldwide. 400,000 hours of video are streamed by Netflix users, and so on. In 2021, we consumed an estimated 74 zettabytes of data. What is 1 zettabyte? 1 zettabyte is 1 billion terabytes. And this year, 2022, we are projected to consume 94 zettabytes of data. So how big is big? Overwhelmingly big. What else? So it's overwhelmingly big, and also data comes in many sources, many types, many formats, and different levels of structure. So data comes from not just social media, but public web. You have sensor data, so data from CCTV, video surveillance, data from machines, machine logs, archive. You have numbers, you have text, you have images, you have videos, you have images, you have different formats: PNG, JPEG, SVG, and then different structures. You have structured data, you have semi-structured. I heard there's quasi-structured, there's unstructured. So it can be chaotic. So you have overwhelmingly big, kind of chaotic, and it it grows at an exponential rate. So by 2025, we are projected to consume 181 zettabytes of data. So it will just get larger and larger. Now, in a TED Talk I watched recently, the speaker said data is at the mercy of exploration. I believe in that because data, no matter how big, on its own is useless. So essentially, we have a digital version of tambak ng big data basura. And it will be very difficult to find treasure in this tambak ng basura. But the happy thing about it is we also have a digital version of may pera sa pagkalkal ng basura. And in our case, that's pera sa pagkalkal ng data. As early as 2012, Harvard Business Review stated that data scientist is the sexiest job of the 21st century. Here we can read, meet the people who can coax treasure out of messy, unstructured data. So there's a romantic touch to it. I also believe that there is an appeal to the field of data science and analytics because it it has wide applications. Um, to give example, let's consider some types of problems in DSA. So for example, let's consider the problem of regression. Regression is essentially identifying relation between two or more variables. So in its simplest form, it's just two variables, and you want to know what will be the value of one variable based on the value of based on a known value. So here our example is you have data on years of post-secondary education and its income. So you collect data and then you find a model that will best describe the data. The model can just be in the form of a line, a line that best describes the data. And once you have that model, you can use that to predict. So if there's a new person and you know the number of years spent in post-secondary education of that person, that is the number of years in college and grad studies. So you will have some idea of what is its possible income. This is a simple example. It can get complicated as you increase the number of variables and you assume a different model. But the idea is simple and can be applied in many variables of interest. So it can be applied to product sales or pricing, performance, risk. So it has many applications. That's regression. Another is clustering. In clustering, you have a data set and you just want to form groups in that data set. So that can be applied, for example, in market segmentation. So you can form groups in your market, identify the profile of each group so that you have a targeted marketing strategy. And actually, clustering is also a technique used in recommender systems, the one I mentioned earlier. So you can imagine that instead of people, these are videos. So if you like one video from one group, then probably the other videos in that same group will be recommended to you. Another type of problem is classification. So in classification, you have categories and you want to know the membership of a sample. So that can be applied, for example, in that can have health applications. So for example, determining if a certain sample is healthy or sick, benign or malignant. That problem can also appear in the domain of text. So determining if an email is a ham or spam, or in determining customer satisfaction after service. So determining if the customer is satisfied or not. And you're not limited to just two categories. You can also have multiple categories, like determine if the customer is happy or sad or angry or neutral. So that's sentiment analysis, and it can be applied in many domains. The problem of regression, clustering, and classification are just some types of problems handled in DSA, and there are a lot more. And this is a typical flow for data-driven problem solving. You can think of this as just your scientific process. That is, you have a question, you formulate some hypotheses, and then you determine the goodness of your hypothesis through experiment. So in that case, the experiment part is where you need data. And of course, once you are done, you communicate the results. So depending on the complexity of the problem, it can just be straightforward. So you just follow the green arrows. But as the problem gets more complex, it can get iterative. But the idea is this flow can be applied to many domains. So here are some applications of data science and analytics in various domains. For me, the key is recognizing that a problem in one domain can be a similar problem in another domain. And the skill of recognizing that that similarity is a valuable skill in data science and analytics. So here is DSA and public service. I think this image went viral in 2017 or 2018, and this is NDRRMC at work. So I think Philippines is at a time where the government ways are constantly being improved by technology. So we have e-voting, we have online filing of taxes, and we have NDRRMC constantly texting us, right, of disaster warnings. Also, I can observe that we have less pila when doing government transactions, because you can do some government transactions online, or if you're going to visit some place, it doesn't take that long to do your transaction because of automation. And that means you have recorded data, and since you have recorded data, you can use that to improve government services. There are a lot of government agencies that work with big data. You have NDRRMC. Also, Philippine Genome Center. So the data there is mostly gene sequences. And in 2015, I was a part of a project in the Philippine Genome Center. And the project is on determining how to produce high quality crops, specifically coconut. So the idea is to look at the genome of the crop to determine what genes are related to specific traits. So that can be applied to crops, that can be applied to humans, and to any living thing. And so there is actually a data revolution also in the field of health and bioinformatics. Another example of DSA and public service is we have a student in the lab last sem that worked on Twitter data to determine public sentiment on vaccination. So his data is from the last quarter of last year. What we learned is in the early parts of the quarter, a lot of people are ranting. So there are a lot of tweets about dissatisfaction. And by the end of the quarter, there are not a lot of tweets. So it's like when they are not satisfied, so they tend to rant, but when they're satisfied, they don't take it to Twitter. They just shut up. So, and we also learned that there's not a lot of fake news propagation, at least in the Twitter platform, for vaccination during that time. But of course, we can't say that about other platforms or other issues. But I hope this gives us an idea that there is a lot we can do with data, and we only need data professionals to do the work, to turn data to useful insights and find the treasure in the dump of big data basura. So that ends my talk. Thank you for the time and for the attention.
Thank you, Dan, Dr. Wayong, for putting together that presentation. We really appreciate the time you've taken for that. So in the next part of the program, we will learn about Project Sparta, its pathways, and our recently launched micro-specialization pathways. May I ask for your undivided attention to this audiovisual presentation?
This is a brief overview of the Project Smarter Philippines through data analytics R&D, training and adoption, or what we commonly know as SPARTA. SPARTA is a 3-year project implemented by the Development Academy of the Philippines, or DAP, in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, the DOST Shared Analytics Association of the Philippines, and Course Bank. The framework on this screen shows the SPARTA rationale with 3 components, namely the DSA workforce, ready datasets, and research and development. First, SPARTA aims to capacitate our country's workforce by upskilling and reskilling them through our scholarship grant and online data science and analytics pathways and courses. Second, SPARTA intends to foster the sharing of open datasets by partnering with different organizations across the country to contribute readily available datasets that can be used by our scholars in developing innovative R&D projects. And lastly, SPARTA aims to guide our scholars in the development of data-driven R&D projects that can help in the development of our country and address its current and future problems. This next slide talks about the 2 SPARTA components: knowledge democratization and activation and engagement. Knowledge democratization's goal is to enable SPARTA's DSA courses to be accessed by the Filipino workforce. These courses are self-paced, so they can be taken at the most convenient time and pace by the scholars. The lead cooperating agency in this component is Course Bank. On the other hand, activation and engagement's objective revolves around the creation of an ecosystem that will foster DSA projects through workshops and events. The lead cooperating agency in this component is the Analytics Association of the Philippines. Delving further, the knowledge democratization has 3 objectives, which are creating online courses, training and graduating learners, and institutionalizing the courses. And aside from their core and elective courses, all learning pathways require a capstone project as their final requirement. Let us further explain each pathway. The Data Associate pathway is intended for beginners who don't have prior knowledge or experience in data science and analytics. This is the program's very basic pathway, mainly composed of 6 courses. The Data Steward pathway develops learners' competencies in data governance to equip them with the necessary skills needed to control and improve data quality, oversee data technology and infrastructure, and ensure compliance with rules, regulations, and ethical practice. The Data Analyst pathway equips learners with competencies needed to leverage reporting, data analysis, and modeling techniques to solve problems and gather insight across functional domains. The Analytics Manager pathway trains learners to oversee analytical operations, communicate insights to executives, and translate analytical results to actionable business items. The Data Engineer pathway allows scholars to develop skills for the proper management of the data life cycle. The last pathway, which is the Data Scientist track, trains scholars to apply their expertise in statistics, machine learning, and programming to make predictions and answer key business questions. The project also offers micro-specialization pathways. These are shorter learning tracks focused on equipping scholars with the right knowledge and skill sets for a specific DSA discipline that may or may not be discussed in their chosen main learning pathways. The first micro-specialization pathway is the Domain Knowledge Analytics Project Management Learning Track. This is composed of 5 courses that will help learners train and acquire DSA project management skills. The second micro pathway is the Domain Knowledge Finance and Risk Track, which aims to teach learners exhibit knowledge and skills in combining statistical and machine learning tools to support decisions and derive insights from financial data. Next is the Domain Knowledge Human Resources Pathway. This third track allows learners to leverage data in designing and improving recruitment and talent development processes. The fourth learning track is the Domain Knowledge Urban Planning Pathway, which trains learners to use data in urban planning in relation to the Fourth Industrial Revolution and smart governance processes. The fifth pathway is the Operational Analytics Micro-Specialization. This directs learners to perform business analysis and present effective visualization of insights derived from data. The sixth pathway, called Research Methods, focuses on teaching learners to discover and create new knowledge and insights through data collection, analysis, and research. The Statistical Techniques Learning Track is the seventh SPARTA Micro-Specialization Pathway. This prepares learners to apply statistical concepts and methodologies to data analysis. Scholars who want to learn basic data manipulation, analysis, and visualization using selected programming languages, tools, or software can enroll in the 8th micro-specialization pathway called Computing Learning Track. The 9th pathway, called Data Visualization, teaches scholars to create compelling reports, narratives, and insights using popular visualization languages and tools. SPARTA has also created the Data Governance Learning Track, composed of 5 courses. These train scholars to apply policy and measures to ensure data security, privacy, intellectual property rights, and ethics during all data lifecycle stages. The 11th micro-specialization pathway is called Methods and Algorithms. This track focuses on the implementation and evaluation of data analytics and machine learning methods and algorithms using various software and tools. Aside from the mentioned pathways and courses, we are also showing the 10 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation competencies, which serve as the foundation of the SPARTA courses and pathways. The first 4 competencies, from domain knowledge and application to data visualization and presentation, are business and organizational skills, while the succeeding 5 competencies are technical skills. The last competency is the 21st century skills, which is a workplace skill needed by the learners to develop a well-rounded and holistic training in data science and analytics. Eligible applicants must be Filipino citizens who are permanently residing or are currently based in the country. They must also be at least a senior high school student who may or may not have prior knowledge or experience in data science and analytics. Let us further discuss the project's second component, which is activation and engagement. This is composed of 3 objectives, which are the Smart Governance Portal or SGP, conference and hackathons, and workshops. Events such as conferences, hackathons, and open data challenges are conducted by the team to help local government units and other sectors of society come up with data-driven solutions that will address their problems and optimize their growth. The Smart Governance Portal serves as a central information source of SPARTA. It also houses datasets for research and development initiatives, project monitoring dashboard, and hackathon and open data registration mechanism. Should you be more interested about Project Sparta and its initiatives, you can reach out to us via the following channels. Let us all unite in championing a data-driven ecosystem and a smarter future for our country.
Okay, so that has been the Project Sparta Overview AVP. I'm sure you have some questions, but please take note of them. We will have some members of Project Sparta join us later for the open forum. So for the next segment, we will now learn the step-by-step process of registration. For registration and enrollment for those that are interested to be Sparta learners. There is also a new enrollment process for micro-specialization pathways for the currently enrolled Sparta scholars. So to give us the session, may I call on our next speaker. She earned a bachelor's degree in education, major in values education from the Philippine Normal University in 2016. She's currently pursuing a master's degree in clinical psychology at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. She's both an educator and instructional design lead for Course Bank, Ms. Jacqueline M. Sangalang.
Hi, Ms. Rose. Thank you for the introduction. And hi, everyone. It's nice meeting you all today. And I'm glad that I'm here to introduce to you the application process for Project Sparta and also the enrollment. So allow me to share with you this AV presentation. All right. I hope you can see my screen.
Hi! I see that you're interested in applying for a Sparta scholarship. Here's how. First, create a Course Bank account. Go to coursebank.ph. Create an account by clicking Join Now. Fill out the necessary fields. Check the email used for the application for an account activation link from Course Bank. Verify and complete your account creation by clicking on Activate Your Account. Now that you've created and verified your Course Bank account, let's now apply for the Sparta Scholarship. On your dashboard, go to the Sparta page. Here, you can read more about the Project Sparta, the 6 main learning pathways, the micro-specialization pathways, and the course offerings. Click on Apply Now. Register to become a Sparta Scholar. Fill out the information pages and submit the necessary documents. Eligibility requirements, scholar profile, education profile, employment profile, and training profile. Read, understand, and click on Agree to the honor code and scholarship terms and conditions. You may visit our help page for frequently asked questions regarding your application. You may also email us at learn@coursebank.ph to assist you with your application. Once you've submitted all the necessary documents, our Course Bank team will review your application and will notify you regarding your application status via email in 1 to 3 business days. Next, while waiting for the review, choose a learning pathway. On your Sparta profile page, go to the Applications tab and click on Select Pathway. Select one main learning pathway from Data Associate, Data Steward, Data Analyst, Analytics Manager, Data Engineer, and Data Scientist. You may apply for another once you've completed your current pathway. You may check your application status via My Scholarship Programs tab. Once approved, courses under chosen learning pathway will be available for self-enrollment. Start with SP 101 Getting Grounded on Analytics as a prerequisite for the rest of the SPARTA courses. Click Enroll to start taking the course. We recommend taking one course at a time. Now, you can also apply for micro-specialization pathways. On the same SPARTA profile page, go to Micro-Specializations tab. This tab will only be available once you have an approved main learning pathway. Select from the available micro-specializations. Courses under chosen micro-specializations are also available for self-enrollment. How to obtain certificates from your main pathway and micro-specializations. For the 6 main pathways, you will need to take and complete a capstone course. If you've completed all courses including electives under your current pathway, request to enroll in the capstone course via Learner Support centralized form. For micro-specializations, certificates will be issued by request through the SPARTA DAP portal. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to visit our help page or contact us at learn@coursebank.ph. Good luck and happy e-learning!
All right, so I hope that presentation gave you a clear understanding on how to apply for the scholarship and how to enroll to your courses under your um, learning pathway and micro specialization. So just to highlight the important details of the application, allow me to share my screen again. So again, we have 4 eligibility requirements. First, you must be a Filipino citizen. Second, you must be a permanently residing or currently based here in the Philippines. You must be at least a senior high school student with or without prior knowledge on data science. And for your proof of education, here are the following documents that you can upload. You may choose one document that you want to upload for your requirements. If you are a senior high school or a college student, you may upload your diploma, valid school ID, certificate of enrollment. If you're a senior high school student, you may also upload your Form 137. If you're a college student, you may also upload your DOR. So if you're already a college graduate or higher, you may upload a scanned copy of your diploma, certificate of graduation, or your valid PRC ID. And if you are already a scholar and currently taking a certain course, here's the step-by-step process on how to do self-enroll. So if you are currently enrolled in a Sparta course, go to dashboard and unenroll using the unenroll button. Next, go to your Sparta profile page and under my scholarship programs, select courses. And then click Enroll to get verified access to the course without enrollment codes. And lastly, on your dashboard or from the course outline, verify your identity using a webcam and a government-issued ID. So employers and schools know that you completed the coursework. So if you are a new scholar, steps 2 to 4 are applicable to you. So if you have a question on your mind that you think that was not tackled earlier, we highly suggest to visit our course bank help page. We already listed here all of the most of the questions we receive from our scholars about the Project Sparta, about the application, about scholarship, courses, and pathways. And if you have inquiries about your account, about your courses and certificates, you just need to visit help.coursebank.ph and this page will be available on your end. And you may also send your question on the comment section and we will try to answer them later. So that's it for the application process. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the day. Back to you, Miss Rox.
Thanks, Jackie. Expert na expert ka na mag-explain. So I know that we've heard quite a lot of information so far. So just to put a break in the program, there will be an interactive game to be led by the SPARTA Events Officer, Mr. Arvil Mark Armadillo, and SPARTA Partnerships Officer, Ms. Karen May Canceran.
Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Is everyone feeling okay this afternoon kahit medyo maulap-ulap, medyo maulan-ulan? Ayan, so as mentioned by Ms. Roxy, we would have an interactive activity just to break the ice kasi after nito, mag-open yung Q&A na tayo. So the mechanics for this game is basically type nyo lang yung sagot nyo sa chat box and the person with the most correct answer wins and the winner gets 100 peso load. So the winner, we would contact you via private chat here in Zoom. So is everyone ready? Can I see a show of hands, thumbs up po sana if ready na kayong lahat? Hello? Ayan, may nakita akong ilang thumbs up. Others? Oh, ayan. So let's start. So first question. The questions is about the discussions earlier. So kung nakinig kayo, madali na lang itong mga questions. So first question. Who was our speaker earlier for why data science and analytics? So sino yung silita kanina? So the options are A. Attorney Joe and Q. Nupe. B. Professor Roxanne F. Nakasait. C. Dr. Rochelle Ann D. Wayong. Or D. Engineer Jacqueline M. Sangalang. So I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. Please chat your answers in the chat box and would like to request for my colleagues to see who answered first. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is C. Dr. Rochelle Ann D. Wayong. So may I know sino po yung unang nakasagot ng tama? Karen or anyone from the team?
Hi, Arvil.
Hello.
Si Sir Anthony Tuico.
Okay.
Yan, he was the first one to answer.
Thank you, sir. Leading na kayo with 1 point over 1. So next question. According to Dr. Wayong, the goal of data science is to transform data into blank to make smart decisions. So the options are A, numbers, B, more data, C, hardware, or D, information. So again, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So pa-check po sino na nakatamang sagot. Tamang sagot ay D, information. So Karen.
Hi, si Sir Anthony ulit.
Oh, wow.
Nakapag-answer siya. Information.
Yes. Leading na leading si Sir. Ayan. So next question, number 3. Which is that the characteristic of big data according to earlier presentation? So the options are A, volume, B, variability, C, variety, or D, velocity. So again, 5 seconds. So pa-check. Answer is B, variability. So Karen, meron
Wait lang.
Sorry.
Naguluhan ako. So here, nag-end tayo. Letter B, di ba?
Yes, variability.
Wait.
I-wave ba natin to? Kasi hindi natin nilagay ng marker yung final answer kanina.
Ang bilis. So parang nag-end tayo kay Miss Mai Vergara. So the correct answer is letter B, right?
Yes.
So
I-wave na naman natin yung question.
Oo. Madami
Sige.
namang question. Sige. I-mark ko na lang kay, ayan. So, thanks RV. So, naglagay siya ng dot.
Ayan.
Okay, sige. Next question na lang tayo.
So, lahat may +1 na lang. So, pero in the lead pa rin si Sir Anthony.
Yes.
So, sorry about that, guys. So, next question. The letter S in Sparta stands for what word? So, the buong Sparta title. The options are A, smarter, B, scientific, C, sustainable, and D, sharing. So, I'll give you 7 seconds for this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the correct answer is A, Smarter. So SPARTA stands
Okay.
for Smarter Philippines through Data Analytics, R&D, Training, and Adoption. So Karen, sinong nanalo?
Okay, ang nanalo ay si Sir Anthony ulit. So,
Oh,
hindi pa
wow.
tapos yung question, naka-chat na siya agad.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Need ni Sir ng 100 no. Guys, kaya niyo pang humabol. So yeah. So next question. Project Sparta has two components. So the first is knowledge democratization and the other is A, upgrade and advancement, B, capacity development, C, activation and engagement, or D, opportunity creation. So 5 seconds again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the answer is activation and engagement. So any correct answers, Karen?
Okay, so nakuha to ni Miss Jennifer Constantino.
Yan, may mahabol. Kinukuwento ni Sir. Constantino?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So the next question, how many pathways does Project Sparta offer? So yeah. So options are A, 5, B, 6, C, 7, or D, 8. So 3 seconds na siguro. 3, 2, 1. So yeah. So B6. So,
B6. Si Sir Elmar Magaling. Okay.
Oh, very good, sir. Magaling. So again, as a review, the 6 pathways are data associate, data steward, data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, and analytics manager. So for the next question, which among these is not a requirement to be a SPARTA scholar according to Canina's presentation on Ms. Jackie? So A, Filipino citizen, B, currently residing in the Philippines, C, at least a senior high school student, or D, college diploma. So 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the answer is D, a college diploma. Hindi siya requirement kasi minimum naman ay senior high student. So correct answers, Karen?
Okay, nakuha ulit ni Sir Anthony.
Parang. So last
Pangalawa
question.
si Sir Elmar.
Sayang. So for the last question, do alam na natin kung sino ang winner. Which website can a learner apply for a Sparta scholarship? So medyo ano yung question. Yung options dito. A, coursebank.ph, B, coursebank.com, C, moocsxph.ph, or D, moocsxph.com. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the correct answer is A, coursebank.ph. So baka may nakahabol. Karen?
Ang i-honor natin is yung letter A, which is coursebank.ph. C, Miss Jennifer Constantino. So, siya yung pangalawa.
Okay. So, ang winners natin si Sir Anthony Tuico
Yes.
with 4 points, followed by Miss Jennifer Constantino with 2 points, then Sir Elmar Magaling. So, si Sir Anthony ang nanalo ng 100. Sir, we will contact you po sa Zoom in a bit regarding your reward. So, thank you. Sana nag-enjoy kayo. Back to you, Ma'am Roxy.
Thank you. Sana nag-enjoy nga kayo. And congrats ka, Sir Anthony. Ang bilis ng net nyo or something. Kasi ikaw talaga ang number 1 leading. So congrats to our winners. Our winners. Uy, may nagsabi may pang avocado shake na naman. Mukhang, laging may palibre dyan sa inyo. Congrats. Our winners will get prepaid load courtesy of Project Sparta, and to receive your prizes, someone will get in touch with you. But you can also email mpe@sparta.dap.edu.ph. So I hope you all feel refreshed and ready for more information. Can I call back our speakers, Dr. Wah Yong, Ms. Jacqueline Sangalang, and of course, Mr. Dane Rosero for our open forum. So may open forum na tayo, and this is the opportunity for everyone to ask questions, whether it's something technical for Dr. Wayong, I suppose, or something regarding Project Sparta. Meron bang mga tanong? Or super galing nyo dyan na gets nyo na lahat?
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. I'm Francis from STM Microelectronics. May tanong lang ako. Mamaya na ako mag-on ng camera. Thank you for yung sa roadshow. Tanong ko lang is anything particular because I saw the course outline. So meron siyang sa data science analytics project management. Can you elaborate on those kind of courses or field? Because I'm interested because my level is more of management or manager, so not more on the technical skill, but more on management.
Dane, would you like to answer that? Sir, just to clarify lang, are you referring then to the micro specializations ba, yung 11?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Dane, you can answer that, yung micro specs natin.
Is he referring to the entire micro specialization specs or the program management only ba?
Siguro both para
Yeah, you can walk everyone through now.
yeah.
Okay, sure po. We have 11 micro specialization pathways in SPARTA. So these are learning tracks designed to help our learner master domain knowledge in specific DSA aspects such as data governance, computing, finance, and risk. So this is a shortened pathways kasi, for example, if we have data scientists with 17 courses, so we make it to the point in Project Sparta to launch this 11 micro pathways. So you will be having an option to complete a pathway within a short period of time. So we have this domain knowledge in analytics, project management. So this micro specialization aims to train learners in the application of knowledge, tools, and insights related to analytics or project management. So graduates are expected to exhibit knowledge on project management processes and the efforts required for each process group and best practices to successfully implement human-centered data science and analytics projects. So there are fundamentals. There is an data analytics approach in detailing the project management process. Secondly, is we have domain knowledge in finance and risk. So for those who are involved in the financial aspect, in the accounting aspect, so they may take the second pathway, which is on finance and risk. So this micro specialization aims to train learners in the application of knowledge, tools, and insights relative to finance and risk. So thirdly, we have for data science for the human resources. So knowledge and tools and insights related to human resources is being tackled in this part. So graduates should be able to leverage labor, workforce, or HR data in designing and improving recruitment and talent development processes. So those human resources personnel may take advantage of this pathway. The next is yung urban planning naman natin. So basically, we are recommending this to our data analysts, steward, manager, engineer, and scientists. So this talks about urban planning. So graduates are expected to exhibit knowledge and greater appreciation of urban planning in the context of the fourth industrial revolutions, the opportunities and challenges it may encounter, and its relevance to smart governance. So next is yung data governance. So basically for the data engineer in a pathway. So this micro specialization seeks to train learners in the development and implementation of data management strategies and governance. So incorporation of privacy and data security, policies and regulations, and ethical considerations as well. So graduates of these micro specializations are expected to be aware and consistently apply policy and measures to ensure that data security, privacy, intellectual property rights, and ethics during all data lifecycle stages are present and be able to mainstream to our data analytics personnel. So the sixth micropathway naman is more on operational analytics. So this trains learners in the usage of general data analytics and specialized business analytics techniques for the investigation of all relevant data to derive insight for decision making. So graduates of these micro specialization are expected to be capable of performing business analysis for specified tasks and data sets and suggesting their presentation or visualization in a form of understandable for business roles or staff. So basically, this micro pathway is just composed of 4 courses and it happened na complete niya siya, no need for a capstone project. But should you ever want to pursue it for the main pathway, then a capstone project is really required to do so. So the seventh micro pathway is on data visualization. So basically, we are recommending it to our data scientists na pathway or scholar. So this circles and the creation and communication of compelling and actionable insights from data using visualization and presentation tools and technologies. Others with research methods, we are encouraging our data scientist scholars to also take advantage with this pathway, wherein this utilizes the scientific and engineering methods to discover and create new knowledge and insights. So next is on statistical techniques. So this micro pathway naman is circling on the application of statistical concepts and methodologies to data analysis. So graduates are expected to be capable of preparing and inspecting data to be used with specific statistical methods and tools and statistically test hypothesis. So basically, yung mga statisticians natin who are also rendering statistical job roles in their company are encouraged to enroll with this micro pathway. So the next is the computing na micro pathway. So this micro specialization is focusing on training learners in the application of information technology, computational thinking, and utilize programming languages and software and hardware solutions for data analysis. The last micro pathway is the methods and algorithm. Basically, we are encouraging our data engineer and data scientists to take advantage with this pathway. So this implementation and evaluation of data analytics and machine learning methods and algorithms. So graduates should be capable of performing data preparation and processing using appropriate tools and software. I hope they get those stuff I mentioned.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. So it's quite informative and it's good to know. So I know there are now a lot of questions come in. So
Yeah. Sir, just to add to that, before you can take a micro specialization pathway, you are encouraged to register into one of the 6 pathways. So pipili ka ng data scientist or data analyst. And then with yours, though we encourage talaga na tapusin niyo yung pathway kasi sayang yung scholarship. In your case, if you do have a leniency towards the micro specs, yung 3 courses, 4 courses, for someone of your position, I would recommend siguro yung mga management coverage. So something along the lines of human resource, finance and risk. Those would probably be more helpful for those in the managerial level, in my opinion. So there are a lot of questions, as you mentioned. So we'll try to tackle these one by one. This one's a good question for you, Jacqueline. Because Jacqueline's with Course Bank and they handle all the applications actually. So from Lenlen, is there a possibility that an application for the SPARTA scholarship will be rejected?
Okay. And hi, Lanlen. So there's a possibility that your application will be rejected if you are unable to reach the 4 eligibility requirements, which is you need to be Filipino citizen. You must be currently here in the Philippines, and you must be at least a senior high school student. And aside from the eligibility requirements, we highly suggest to complete your registration from step 1 to 5 in order for you to avoid receiving pending or rejection to your application. Uh,
So another thing is when you apply, kasi you're applying for a DOST scholarship. So we do have some students that have decided to take a paid option uh, because they are ineligible. But for the scholarship itself and for the partnership that we have with ST Microelectronics, you do have to fulfill the 4 requirements for Project Sparta. And then leading into that, this is partnered with the DOST. Scholars are required to render service, but not to the DOST. You just have the return service agreement, so you need to serve 6 months here in the Philippines. And your current employment, I believe, is sufficient enough to fulfill that. Na. So there is other. Wait, let's ask a few questions to Dr. Wayong. Sayang naman yung pagpunta niya. She's such a great professor. So there's a question here kasi, what are the best ways to practice their learnings? Do you have any recommendations, Dr. Wayong, as to how they can practice what they learn from Project Sparta?
Uh, I mentioned about the data-driven problem solving po in my slides. So ask a question. Magsisimula siya sa what is your problem? Anong problem yung may business value? So maybe you can start with that. You ask some questions and then you formulate some hypotheses, diba? And then yung experiment process ng scientific method is to test the goodness of your hypothesis. Alamin mo anong data yung makakatulong sa iyo for answering your hypothesis. Ang tanong ay how to apply. So yun, mag-start ka with asking questions. And then from the questions, you can look at what data you can use to answer your questions. May iba naman kasi na madali lang. For example, 'di ba, sa mga tracker apps, madali lang naman na malaman kung na-meet mo yung goal mo na number of steps, 'di ba? Or sa na-explain ko po kanina yung sa YouTube video, kung nagpe-perform well ba yung channel mo, you identify some metrics that you can use to determine or some key indicators that your channel or your business is having a good performance. Yun yung mga simple. So that is one answer. Another answer is yun, ask questions and identify what data will be relevant to answering your question. Dun sa iba, maybe you will need more technical knowledge, pero marami rin namang mga business intelligence software na available na parang pwede kang magamit. Depende sa kung ano yung problema mo. So start with questions. I hope that answers the question po.
Yeah, I think it did. And also to add on to that, we do have some learners over the years na for their capstone, they take into consideration and yung mga problems ng department or their company, and then they base it off that, or sometimes they also do capstones based on their community. Shameless plug lang din, though this year wala na silang tinatanggap, it's closed for applications, yung Goddess program of the DOST. Sparta scholars are encouraged to submit their capstones, their research, or their learnings, and you can get a grant of up to 1 million pesos yata from DOST. So you can also apply it to that. I think their next intake is in February of next year, which also leads me to answer the next question, which is, does Sparta really end on November 14 of 2022? At the moment, that is the case. So we do encourage you to try to finish. And there is time for you to finish your pathways and your micro specializations between now and November. So,
Ma'am Roxanne,
yes.
just to add some more, meron lang ako naisip. Kasi ang tanong ay, paano mapapractice yung
Learnings.
learnings?
Yeah.
I'm thinking na if yung learning mo involves some data, then kuha ka ng data of the same profile. So, i-try mo na determine ng useful insight from some data of the same profile. And marami sa net na source of data. So, yeah, you practice by experiential learning.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Dane, may tanong sila. So for each Sparta scholar, are they allowed to travel or work abroad? Do they need any permit from the DOST? If they're a scholar.
Ayun. I mean, we're very consistent with sharing this to our partners that yung mga indoors silang scholars are currently residing here in the Philippines because we want to utilize their skill sets acquired in the project Sparta here in the Philippines. Then so as strict as it is, you should be here in the Philippines. And I think we are also developing some mechanisms naman in tracking then kung where are you accessing those courses. So ayun po.
Pero
So you
can
should be here in the
travel, ha?
Philippines.
You
Yeah, you
can
can travel, but
kung mag-weekend away kayo in Singapore or wherever. It's fine. The coverage is yung return service agreement lang, which is 6 months nga after. But there's no travel bond for business or leisure naman. And no, you will
Yeah.
not get stopped by immigration. So walang issue yon. Just take note lang that when you do complete your course, you are a government scholar, hypothetically. So please serve your country. Yun talaga yung ano dun the big picture or the big idea behind it. This is a good question for Jacqueline. Do they have perpetual access to the lectures in the course bank platform after finishing the courses? I've never experienced this question, so baka masagot mo, Jacqueline.
Well, based dun sa experience namin dun sa ibang courses, after November 14, siguro the courses will be available for 2 to 3 months. So it depends, but we will post naman if magiging close na yung mga courses after November 14. Pero may spare time naman na ibibigay si Course Bank to finish yung mga courses.
Dr. Wayong, may question dito. What is the most rewarding aspect of being an analytics professional? Medyo deep, no? So yung deep
Wow!
questions sa amin yung mga medyo questions about the program.
Ako? Yung novel, pag nakakakuha ka ng novel information, para sa akin, yun, wow, ang cool. to discover patterns na parang hindi obvious, tapos ma-discover mo siya because of the tendencies that is made obvious by data, by amounts of data. Sa akin yun yung pinaka masaya, yung discoveries.
There's a lot of opportunities for that, no, naman. Like now, the data science and analytics ecosystem is richer now than it used to be. Is that correct? Would you say so?
Yes, opo.
Parang mas madami ng DSA events, mas madami ng funding. Is that
Opo.
correct?
And ano to, 'di ba meron yung Open Data Philippines, yung parang gawing mas accessible ang public data to people. Ayan, maraming opportunities for DSA dyan. Kasi ang dami mong gagawin eh. Kailangan ilipat from paper to digital data, kailangan i-clean, kailangan i-present in a form that understandable to to the public. So, opo, I see na ang daming efforts from different sectors of the community to make DSA for everybody. So, hindi lang sa side ng government, meron din sa side ng industry, di ba? May mga free programming languages that are easy to learn. To handle big data, hindi naman kailangan na sa computer mo ikaw mag-work kasi may mga cloud computing facilities na pwedeng dun mo na lang i-run. So, yes, a lot of efforts to make DSA more accessible.
Okay, so this one, a question for Dane. Kasi I know you've seen this on our slides. We present this a lot to the DOST. So baka masasagot mo sila. How long does it take to complete one micro-specialization pathway? And will the opportunity to network with others happen while the scholar is taking a micro-spec pathway? So siguro sagutin mo na lang yung how long does it normally take to complete, Dane? Tapos yung second part, I can answer.
Sure. Basically, the course will take you 8 to 10 hours to complete it. If tuloy-tuloy, depende kasi it's a self-paced program. So, I took one subject for 8 hours na tuloy-tuloy. So, depende din sa internet connection mo. Depende din kung gaano ka kabilis mag-complete. But surely the subjects or the courses are designed in a weekly or modular form naman. Like, naka-design siya weekly kung kaya mong tapusin that design, or should you want to prosper or advance for the next weeks, then be it. Depende din sa'yo.
So on the second part about networking and opportunities to meet other people with the same interests, the same pathways, covered yan kasi ng department ko in marketing and events. So technically we have we have the SPARTA community, which is on Facebook. You can join SPARTA community PH. We also have our Facebook page. There's a Discord server, I believe, as well. They also have what are they called? The dashboard, the main bulletin board where learners are able to speak with each other. And then recently, or not so recently, we also have the Kamustahan. So there are people that have managed to form friendships, and also people that have managed to form groups to create DSA related solutions for the nation. And yun nga, some have been lucky enough to get funding, or some have been lucky enough to join hackathons. So madami din opportunities for you to grow in this industry. Oh, there. So Therese from marketing, she's put down where you can see the community and also the Facebook page and the social media platforms where you can stay updated on not just the latest things that are happening with SPARTA, but also with our partners such as Course Bank, DOST, the Analytics Association of the Philippines. Lots of knowledge and information there. So I think we've actually answered all the questions. Oh, there is one. What micro track do you recommend if I'm from supply chain management? So someone from Project Sparta told me that operational analytics is probably the most suitable for you to take. You can look into that. So ayun, I think that wraps up our questions for the open forum today. Thank you again to all our speakers. Jackie, nice to see you again. Dr. Wayong, salamat. And I'm sure they'll see your face kasi you're one of the SMEs. So, Dane, salamat din sa pag-explain. So, to wrap up our event for the day and to deliver the closing remarks, May I call on kanina si Sir na nag-unang question. Mr. Francis Valdemor, the Senior Manager at Central Test Engineering and Development of ST Microelectronics, Inc.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you to Sparta for having this. In behalf of STMicroelectronics, our beloved GM, Yung Suk Kwon, our management team, and our fellow colleague of ST, we would like to thank you, Sparta, for the roadshow. It gives us more information, and also since I am the overall coordinator of the Future Inside Industry 4.0, we have projects for data scientists and analytics. And we have people in a separate department, which is already in the DSA. And you could notice that there is one that is always spectacular in the answering of questions. Is Dr. Anthony Tuico.
Ang bilis ng
So,
internet niya, sir.
Kalapit ko lang siya, tatawa na kami dito eh. So we'd like to thank you for the opportunity, and I will encourage the people from ST to really go to this course, so that we have a roadmap on Industry 4.0, and it will help us a lot, and so that we could achieve more in terms of automation, okay, and also our future inside. And also, if there are some question on after learning application, go to me and I'll give you some projects. Anyway, thank you very much, Ms. Roxy, Ms. Jacqueline, Dr. Richel, Mr. Daniel, and of course the ice-breaking Mr. Arvil for this roadshow. And we appreciate the information and the detail, and give us more opportunity to learn, not only inside ST but outside, and also with the help of the OST and Sparta. We thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you din, Mr. Valdemor. Tapos narinig niyo na yan sa boss niyo. So apply daw kayo sa scholarship, mag-aral kayo mabuti, tapos bibigyan kayo ng mas maraming project at trabaho.
To make your life easier.
So I got a very long list actually of people to acknowledge pa. So we'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the following guests from ST Microelectronics. Si Enrique Ladamco, Staff Engineer, DTIT, Clyde Balaman, DSA team, Jeffrey Orsena from the DSA team, Anthony Tuico from the DSA team, Imelda Sevilla, the HR manager, Jervin Young, the manager for equipment engineering, Kent MacGabled, the manager for purchasing, Clarinda Mendoza, senior manager of supply chain. Uy, may interest in some microspecs. Eduardo Calinao Jr., the staff engineer for DTIT. Jefferson Toledo, Senior Staff Engineer of NPI, Judith Shalina De Jesus, the Staff Engineer for DTIT, Alwin Marabilion, Manager for DTIT, Mark Kingsley Tabernalia, DSA team. So before we end the program, we just like everyone to fill out a feedback form, which is going to be flashed on the screen. You can do the QR code. It'll only be up for 1 hour, and we will send out a certificate of attendance to all of those that filled this out. And could I also ask for everyone to turn on your cameras para makapag-picture naman tayo? So RV, can you do the count, please?
Hello, good afternoon. Okay, so we have 3 pages. So let's take a moment to open our cameras. Okay, so I think everyone's ready. Okay, so on my cue, smile. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, for the next page, 3, 2, 1, smile. And for the last page, 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. Back to you, Miss Roxy.
Thank you again to all our speakers, to everyone that joined us today, and thank you to the team who made this possible. We hope you can all join us in our future events. Once again, I'm Roxy Makasaed of the DAP Project Sparta. Thank you, everyone. This has been the online roadshow for ST Microelectronics Inc.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Salamat.
Bye-bye.